this is Charles. Welcome to another video. Today I'm excited to cover a new project I've been working on recently, the Corsairs of Umbar. In the past couple of months, I've been painting up a small force of them and built up a display and took the army to an event down in Seattle, USA. In this video, I will go over the process of converting and painting the army, as well as how I built the display and how the tournament went. The Corsairs are an army that I've never painted or played with in the game, so I was very excited to tackle this project and try them out. So the theme I wanted to go for with this army is a Corsair raiding party pillaging the coast of southern Gondor during War of the Ring. To start, I started by taking a Rohan house kit and cutting it in half. To make one kit go as far as possible, they will be two separate destroyed houses. I added extra bits from the kit, such as spare panels and pieces of sprue and the roof, and built them onto the base as debris. I built a hill under one of the houses with a piece of foam as the foundation and shaped the hill with tree bark, air hardening clay, and spackle. After priming the display, I started by base coating the wooden areas of the houses with light gray from Vallejo Model Air and the roof with leather brown from Vallejo Model Air. Citadel Agrax Earthshade was applied to all areas afterwards, followed by a light dry brush of Wraithbone and white. The ground was painted with some dollar store craft paint with spots of dark green that looked very similar to Citadel Mournfang Brown and Caliban Green. I mixed in some sand and tiny rocks into the paint so that once dried, the ground was textured and ready for dry brushing. The ground was dry brushed with Wraithbone and white. Next step was the flocking. I looked through my collection of basing material that could pull off for southern Gondor or a Gondor fiefdom settle. The final result was a combination of a neutral colored flock with patches of green and yellow static grass. To finish off the basing, I took some tufts from my collection and spread them all over the display board to break up the monotony. For those familiar with my work, you'll know that I like to make my display boards pop. Of course, a burning village needed some flame effects. Check out the video of my Helm's Deep display board showcase if you haven't already, where I use flickering tea lights that you can find on Amazon or at Walmart and simply hot glue some pillow stuffing to them. Spray painting a bit of red and black onto them makes an instant smoke effect. In the same way that it created the explosion effect on the Helm's Deep board, they were perfect also for this display depicting a village on fire. To give an effect that the houses were burning on the inside, I also airbrushed some yellow and white to the inside of the houses for an OSL effect. Now for the miniatures. I wanted each Corsair to look distinct from one another. This army is led by a Dalamir, Fleet Master of Umbar, and Dalgamar, the Gate Master. Dalamir is a Haradrim from the Order of the Hashari, so I went with a different paint scheme for him to make him stand out in the army. Dalgamar is his ruthless second in command, driving the warband into battle with the crack of his whip. The Corsairs of Umbar kit, while not being the easiest to convert, I did my best and gave nearly every miniature a combination of head swaps, arm swaps, or reposing that required more sculpting, so that no two Corsairs looked alike. To tie into the ocean theme more, I sculpted some sea creatures to some of the bases, from starfish, clams, to a crab for Delgamar. I wanted a paint scheme that was somewhat uniform, but also a bit varied since pirates are not known to be an organized army. I went with a Xeris purple with a Genestealer purple highlight for one color of the cloth, and Incubi Darkness with Sotek green over black for the other. Some Corsairs have yellow stripes in their clothing as well to break up the monotony. On the arbalesters, I painted some simple freehand of Corsair imagery, including a saber and pike, an octopus, an anchor, and the front of a Corsair ship. My favorite model to paint in the army has got to be Delgamar. It is an incredibly well sculpted job by Forge World on the sculpt, and I thoroughly enjoyed picking out all the details on this miniature. Because of all the details involved in these miniatures, I almost did not finish it in time for the tournament. but thankfully I was able to put in a few extra hours the night before to get it done. The army is now complete. Off I went down to Seattle. This was my first time traveling for an event in over 2 years, so it was very exciting. After a few hours of driving, I arrived at the venue, Mugu Games. 26 people showed up to battle for the ultimate prize, the Smaug kit from Games Workshop. The tournament consisted of 4 rounds, and the top 2 players at the end of the day would play a 5th and final championship round for the Dragon. In the first game, I played against the Dead of Dunharrow in Breakthrough, in a very thematic matchup. In the second game, I faced the Riders of Theoden in Fog of War on a beautiful Shire table. In Game 3, I was matched up against a Mordor army on Command the Battlefield. I loved my opponent's army, and we laughed about how we couldn't have fought against each other given how similar our armies looked. I had managed to win in the first 3 games so far, so I was a bit nervous going into Game 4. My opponent was an Angmar player fielding the Witch King on Felbeast. He ended up winning Best Painted at the end of the day, so congratulations to this well-painted Angmar army. We played Capture and Control, and the game started off pretty terribly as Stelgamart was killed at the very beginning of the game. However, I was able to pull off a comeback from that point onwards. While I was not able to take down the Nazgul, I pulled out a win by capturing all the objectives. Okay, so this means that I'm in the championship round. My opponent had a Moria force led by the Goblin King Durbers. We played Contest of Champions, which basically is a competition of which army leader can obtain more kills. In my case, that leader is Dalamir. After a short but intense round, my Corsairs of Umbar emerged victorious. I was very fortunate and so happy to take home Smaug the Dragon, and also happy that the other 2 players in the top 3 were Canadians from the community where I play. So overall, a wonderful weekend. This Corsairs of Umbar project has been tons of fun to convert and paint, and the army is also a lot of fun to play. Is this the end of the project? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I enjoyed working on it so much that I may just continue expanding the army. Who knows, maybe I will build an even bigger display and bring it to Nova Open Convention in Washington, D.C. this fall? Stay tuned to find out. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you could like the video and consider subscribing so that you don't miss out on the next video. All of my links to my Instagram account, my podcast, and Patreon are below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.